Fine reception, so let's check on the two lineups, starting with Norwich City. They welcome back from injury John Polston at number 5. He missed the first leg and indeed has been out for 5 games. But they're still without Efan Akoku and Mark Robbins. So at number 7, 18-year-old Darren Eadie, who made his senior debut in the last round of the UEFA Cup, shares the striking responsibility with Chris Sutton. Now, Trevor Brooking, do you agree with Alan and particularly Steve Coppell that they will play with the sweeper?
Yes, they will. Speaking to Mike Walker, and he said he toyed with the idea of playing with a flat back 4, but the movement of the Munich side is so good, particularly runners from midfield. He wanted the cushion of playing Culverhouse there, so he will try and plug whatever gaps. And I think also important will be number 10 Fox and number 3 Bowen, the two wide midfield players. They'll have to keep an eye on the attacking fullbacks of Munich, and then of course young Eadie with his pace up front.
Well, let's have a look then at the German lineup, because they've made one change, Bayern, from the first leg. Number 8, Marcus Schupp, is back from suspension. Number 11, Adolfo Valencia, the Colombian international, who missed 2 good chances in the first leg, rediscovered his scoring touch at the weekend with 2 goals and a 4-0 win in the Bundesliga. And what about number 10, Lothar Matthäus, Trevor? Is he going to have more licence to come forward? As Alan was saying, he's not a very good defender.
Well, I think he's got to, because the important thing to remember, I think, back home is they must score 2 goals this evening. So I'm sure Matthäus, so dangerous coming forward, and Wouters, the number 7, will always slot in and fill the gap when he does.
So there we are then. Just a reminder that we kick off with Matthäus and his team 2-1 behind after the first leg in Munich. So the tactics, as Steve said, are bound to be fascinating. The referee comes from Belgium, and so do his 2 linesmen, Frans van der Renbaert, and we'll see now what Norwich can do. Here's Sutton, back to Bowen. Already little Eadie gets on the move. The challenge comes in from number 4, Kreutzer. Well, Sutton takes up a position on the 6-yard line. Fox comes in behind him. That was Sutton, and the shove by him gives Bayern a breather early on.
I think the ideal would be for Norwich to get an early goal, but I think it's important just also not to concede one, because then that would really rock the home side back on the heels, quieten the home crowd, and so perhaps we'll see a fairly sort of controlled opening to the game.
Well, certainly Matthäus has started right at the back, and so has Culverhouse, so I think our experts have read those right. This is Jorginho, and played forward by Mark Bowen, who then got clattered, and so did Sutton. In fact, number 8, Schupp, was responsible for both those fouls. And forward by Polston, and back by Matthäus. Polston playing, as Trevor indicated, on the right of those 3 in front of Culverhouse. Bayern with Valencia and Wijngaert pushed right forward, and Jorginho, the Brazilian's gone up for this free kick, number 2. That was Wijngaert. Oh, and Gunn just got to that before Valencia.
A few hearts went in the mouth there, didn't it? It's almost like a slow motion it was. As you can see, Wijngaert, the number 9, just gets in front there of his marker and just bounces in front. Looks as if it might go away from him, and Valencia can't get the touch.
Actually, Brian Gunn did get a shoulder injury at Highbury on Saturday, and has had treatment ever since. Fox. Number 11 is Goss. Sutton. Oh, and Kreutzer comes right in the back of him. Number 4 gives Norwich a free kick in an advantageous position.
2 early tackles where he's gone through the forwards, Kreutzer, number 4. One more, and I thought a yellow card was due.
Well, he might have got one then with some referees. However, it's Sutton waiting now as Newman and Crook stand over the ball. Mark Bowen is there as well. Polston starts to move forward now. This is Crook. In comes Sutton. Headed back in again by Butterworth. Comes out to Goss. And surely it's asking too much for him to produce another one just like that goal in the Olympic Stadium.
When they're being half cleared at the moment, it's like a magnet. Always seems to end up at Jeremy Goss, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's having a wonderful season, isn't he, at the moment? Here come Bayern Munich. Helmer from the back. Nerlinger. And Ziege, the number 3, is playing right up there on the left of the attack at the moment. Here's Jorginho, the other so-called fullback. 8 is Schupp. Well, he made some progress there, and on these corner kicks, they've got to keep an eye on the 2 centre-backs who come up. Helmer, number 5, and Kreutzer, 4. They've both been known to score from these. It's turned in by Schupp. The header out wasn't sent, and Valencia got in, and Bayern Munich score. Adolfo Valencia swooping when the defence seemed transfixed. And what a game we've got here now. The Germans have taken the lead in the 5th minute. Ziege took the corner, number 3, played it short to Schupp. Then the cross went in. The header hit a Norwich player, in fact, and Valencia scores.
Well, it was unfortunate. You can see Rob Newman heads it. It hits John Polston, comes back to Valencia. 6-yard box. Thanks very much.
And now at the other end, a corner to Norwich. We'll debate the mathematics of that goal in just a second. Norwich will try and get one back right away. John Polston forward, and Butterworth and Newman. It means now that the aggregate score is 2-2, but Norwich technically are ahead on away goals, 2-1. But it's not the start they wanted, and just the opening, really, that the Germans were desperate for. I perhaps shouldn't have mentioned that Valencia had rediscovered his scoring touch, Trevor, because he missed a couple in the first game.
It was a dream start for them, wasn't it? Because, you know, if they don't score, then you get the pressure, well, they need 2 goals, whereas now getting that early one, you know, the concern isn't for Mateus to push forward. They can just build up patiently. It's a great cushion now and a great start. And psychologically for Norwich, it's important for them to put it at the back of their mind and get on with the rest of the game and not sort of dwell on that mistake too much.
Yes, it was virtually Bayern's, well, it was their second attack, wasn't it? Forward by Newman. Fox running on behind Sutton, but that's Jan Wouters, number 7, getting the ball out to Ziege. Valencia. Ziege again. Wouters. Helmer. Ziege. Nerlinger makes a forward run, number 6. It looks dangerous again. Goss is with him. And still Nerlinger. Corner.
A very dangerous player, Nerlinger, number 6. He's not that tall, but he's got an excellent left foot, and he's got terrific spring for his size. He gets up very well.
Well, Jorginho's gone across to curl this one in from the left. And Ziege coming into the near post, free kick given.
I mean, the goal was a bit unfortunate because Rob Newman did get the initial header, didn't he? And it just rebounded kindly for Valencia. But they did go to sleep just a bit because Ziege took a quick short corner and just found somebody free to whip the cross in.
Well, in European football, there's just that extra split second of thinking time that maybe you don't get, which you might get in a league game, and he didn't hang around when he took advantage of the opening. Forward by Crook. Do you think that the way the game goes dictates whether or not Culverhouse continues to be the sweeper? I mean, at what point would Mike Walker change that?
Well, while it remains 1-0 so early on, I don't think he would change it tactically. Certainly, if Bayern got a second goal, he would have to have a rethink.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. This is Jorginho. Newman. Bowen. Helmer. Nerlinger. Mateus. Jorginho. This is Jerry Goss. It's a good ball too by him. It's out to Darren Eadie. Very much a left-footed player, the 18-year-old, but coming in from the right here. He was bundled over, but the ball runs on to Bowen. Crook. Colston. Crook again. Sutton's up there. Fox is trying to reach it, he has. This is Bowen. Oh, what a chance for Sutton! And he's pulled it wide.
Well, that was a good chance. I mean, Chris Sutton does seem to have the beating of the German defenders in the air, and when Fox, one possession there, knocked it to Bowen, who squared it, you did feel a better first touch, and it would have been a goal. He just got it tucked underneath him and dragged it across the goal. As you can see, his first touch there is still underneath him. He hasn't got room to swing, and drags it past the post.
Pretty poor defending by the Germans. He seemed to have acres of room there between Mateus and Helmer. This is Valencia. Crook. This is Shook. Jorginho there. Mateus. Well, that's Helmer on the left side. They've more or less made Ziege, the number 3, a full-time attacker. Here's Helmer. And Jorginho moves to the left now. Anybody arriving a little bit late home or just joining the broadcast, Norwich City are a goal down in this second leg. It came inside 5 minutes and it's made the aggregate score 2-2. The Colombian Adolfo Valencia, nicknamed Det Zug by the Germans, the train. Well, he arrived on time in the Norwich penalty area and he put them 1-up on the night, Bayern Munich. This is Eadie. Mateus tries to block him off. Sutton comes to the near post. He's got Goss in support if he can find him. Vitacek. Norwich get the throw. Eadie. Ball was out there. It's quite an occasion, isn't it, for the 18-year-old?
Well, he normally plays on the left side, almost like a winger left midfielder, but Mike Walker said he's played a few games in the reserves down the middle, and so because of Cuckoo and Robbins are out, he thought he would be the best one, rather than take a chance on the other young striker, of course, Akibi.
Yes, Adi Akinbaye is, in fact, on the bench. The lad who's never played in the first team, the Nigerian, in fact, the same background as Ekoku. Here's Jan Wouters, who's very much a Dutchman, and he's overhit that. It's quite exciting for the Norwich public to see Dutch internationals, Brazilians, Colombians coming here. But it wasn't particularly Satisfying for them to see Bayern Munich score so early. It's given the home fans a few palpitations. This is Wouters again. Wijngaert in the middle. Neerlinger, a terrific run from midfield. Newman's got to block him off. In fact, Neerlinger is penalised, but it was a great run.
Well, he makes those sort of runs all the time, and he actually handballed it in controlling it, and that's why he was penalised.
Well, that's what happened. The header from Newman came back off Colston, and Valencia put it very firmly in the corner. That's another view of the goal, largely for those of you who may have just joined us a bit late. And it means we are 2-2 aggregate here. But Norwich have the away goal in hand at this stage. Culverhouse. Sutton, good control. Fox. Making ground in the middle is Goss, but here's Jorginho, and they look dangerous on these breaks, Bayern. Wijngaert trying to stay onside, and the Brazilian trying to go through everybody. Here's Culverhouse. Crook. And the ball is meant for Edie. They want people in the middle now. Sutton and Goss getting there. Still Edie. Mark Bowen. Sutton beats Helmer.
Just beginning to get their confidence back a bit now, Norwich, I think. I mean, you do feel Munich are not the greatest defensively, and that Norwich always going to have a chance of scoring goals, but they do look very dangerous on the counter-attack. I mean, Mike Walker said in the sort of previous leg that he always fancied he'd score in Munich, but of course, you know, they are a good counter-attacking side. I mean, it's just set up for just a great match, isn't it? And they started out very end-to-end stuff.
Yeah, well, I think they do feel, Bayern, that they didn't do themselves justice in the first match without taking anything away from Norwich. Here's Fox. Sutton. Both teams second in their respective premierships. So we've got two informed sides. Mateus. Kreutzer. Neerlinger starts another run. Fox is checking him. Kreutzer again. Minutes gone. Though to Mateus, who played in the match the last time Bayern turned a 2-goal deficit, or rather a home defeat, round into an away win, but he was playing for Inter Milan then in Europe. So it's happened before. Schupp.
Schupp didn't play in the first leg, and he was suspended then, but that was a poor cross. He had plenty of time to get in a good quality one, and all that patient build-up went to waste.
Fox. Edie. Sutton. Oh, good return ball to Edie. Goss in the middle and marked. Oh, it caught the heels of Mateus. Edie again. Fox. Bowen. And this time offside, Jeremy Goss, but he was in a great position just then, wasn't he?
It was unlucky again. Munich tried to play a bit of an offside, and they got caught square, and Mateus was 2 against 1. And Edie did the right thing. He tried to square it with his weaker right foot, just caught the heel of Mateus. Otherwise, you feel Goss in front of goal must have equalised.
I think so. This is Jorginho. Now Schupp. Mateus. Helmer, number 5. Now Ziege. Wouters. with some cohesion there, Bayern, until Mark Bowen closed down Jorginho. Just coming in, the come on you yellows is to encourage a Norwich side who are 1 goal behind on the night. Bayern Munich scoring inside the first 5 minutes. We've now been playing nearly 19 minutes, so the aggregate scores are level. But Norwich have a free kick, which Ian Crook prepares to take. Sutton coming in now.
Well, in the end, missed the goal quite a long way, but he got a yard or two again on his marker. Ian Crook's so good at clipping one in. He's got a yard just ahead, just has to wait and just mistimes it. But again, it was almost a clear header.
Well, there's a feeling that these central defenders of Bayern Munich are not quite as formidable as you'd expect in a German side, and they were pulled around a bit again there. That's another free kick to Norwich. And Sutton making himself a useful target. Fox goes in alongside him here. There's Sutton. That's a good effort too. It nearly fell for Edie. I get the feeling that they're finding Chris Sutton quite a handful. Forward by Culverhouse. There's Sutton again, and again the marker is a good yard away from him. Here's Edie. Spread out to Rob Newman. That's the situation with 20 minutes gone in the second leg of this UEFA Cup tie, coming to you live from Carrow Road. Bowen. This is Crook. It's well played. This is Newman. Holston. And Bayern defending very deep there, but Jan Wouters got back. And that's a very good turn by Jorginho, and Rob Newman has to be careful. He's one of the players on a yellow card from an earlier caution in Europe. Valencia has made his views known to the referee on that, and the ref says, leave the decisions to me.
I think Valencia was trying to get Rob Newman a yellow card, wasn't he? And the referee, pleased to see, told the player, look, I'm in charge, you just go away.
Kreutzer. Mateus. Jorginho. Shot. This is Goss. He's got 3 ahead of him for Norwich. He picks out Edie. Foul. Kreutzer claiming he took the ball. Crook picks out Polston. Fox is on that side too. Polston's cross. Here comes Sutton. Chris Sutton, only 20, but he scored twice against Bayern Munich here before. There was a friendly between these two clubs in January of 1992, a midwinter game, and Norwich won 4-1. Not many of the cuss were the same, but Sutton certainly got a couple, and he'll be out to get one tonight, that's for sure, to try and pull this round a little bit for Norwich, who are 1 down in the second leg. Culverhouse. Edie with Mateus going across. Goal kick. Just conscious of people coming in all the time, and that scoreboard tells you that Bayern Munich have the edge in this second leg. And the fact of the matter is it's 2-2 on aggregate, but Norwich have one more away goal than Bayern at present, which, if things stayed exactly as they are now, would see them through. Goss. Sutton. Mateus. There's a flag up here, offside. Well, that's a bit of a risky ball, that, right across the field, and Jorginho saw it coming all the way, and now he's in the attack, and Valencia striding forward here, and just at the last, a challenge from Ian Crook, who I think might have been the guilty party giving the ball away, Trevor.
Well, that is one of those, as a player, once you had one of those passes intercepted, you gallop back trying to retrieve it. And fortunately, though he didn't make contact with the ball, he did enough to put off Valencia. And I'm sure a relieved midfield player there, because it's a nightmare. You just dread a second goal going in, and of course at this stage it would have been a disaster for Norwich, who are just coming back. I think they've got over that, what must have been a desperate blow for them to concede one so early, and now are trying to knock it around as we know they can.
Indeed. Played forward for Fox. Now Sutton's in the middle, so is Goss. And there's Goss. No luck.
Unlucky. That is where I think Norwich have got to get Raw Fox going into those attacking situations, so as they get the left back defending and not going forward and helping in attack. Good cross, and Goss was unlucky.
So there's the incident with Fox getting the ball in. As you see, yes, Goss found a good position, didn't he?
It was just behind him and trying to bring it under control. It just went away from him. If it had been in front, he'd have hit it first time.
Wouters, Jorginho. Oh, he's giving it away now. And a good touch again by Chris Sutton. This is Goss with Newman to his left, number 6. Bowen. This is the famous Norwich City song, On the Ball City, which goes way, way back to the days of the old 3rd Division South when they reached the FA Cup semi-final. The younger fans wouldn't remember that, but some of the older ones will. These days they're playing far more illustrious opposition, aren't they? Thomas Helmer with 4 players well upfield here for Bayern. Wijngaert fouled as by Butterworth. And Wijngaert makes the most of it. Now, Butterworth is also a player on 1 caution, and if he does that again, he'll get a second.
Claiming he got the ball. I think he caught Wijngaert before actually making contact with the ball as well, and so I do think a warning there was fair enough. And as you saw the referee saying, look, another one like that, and it will be a yellow card.
Yes, just to explain to those of you who may not be quite as familiar with the European rules, if a player gets a second yellow card, even if it's in a different match, of course, he's suspended for 1 game. And several of the Norwich lads were cautioned in the first round against Vitesse Arnhem. Valencia with his arms up. Helmer trying to stay onside as Norwich start to move out. Ziege, the kicker, checked and went back. Helmer.
Well, that was bad marking again. I think Helmer should have done better. I mean, they tried to play the offside in this second one. Look at the man there, just getting in front of his marker, and they only had to direct it on target. And from there, I think Gunn would have been stretched. They mustn't give them that space in the penalty area.
And Norwich get another free kick. The referee is keeping a very close check on these collisions, and he's penalising most of them at the moment. So is there hope here for Norwich? Butterworth goes forward. Sutton is the target. Goss closing in, but foot up a bit there on Jan Wouters. Mateus still playing in that sweeper's position. It's a long ball, but Fox saw the danger. He has to run back every time Ziege runs forward. Rule Fox.
Very important confrontation, those two. But as I say, I would like Fox to be taking Ziege the other way and get more into attack rather than, as I say, being dragged back almost beyond the right back position.
And we're just coming up to the half-hour mark in this second leg of the UEFA Cup. The ball coming off the head of Wouters. Sutton, Fox to his right, Sutton shoots!
A good strike again on that occasion, good first touch, gave him that little bit of width where he could swing through and just missed the far post. As you can see, puts it down, just dragged it a bit, didn't he? And I don't think the keeper was ever concerned that was going to make the corner of the net.
Beta check for Bayern. Now Jorginho, but loose again, and this is Fox. The ball is being given away by the Germans as well, and that's quite clear that there have been moments when space has been available to strikers in and around the penalty area. That's the situation after half an hour. 2-2 the aggregate score. Norwich still with the extra away goal in hand. Culverhouse. He's working away so well, Sutton. Gets the referee's verdict again there. Kreutzer furious. I would have thought one or two of the players showing the kind of dissent that might get a yellow card in our Premier League, but prolonged conversation between Mateus and the referee as well. But this is Norwich territory, this. They usually work something from here. Darren Eadie, possibly with his left foot from that angle, to swing it in. Butterworth up there, so is Polston. Eadie, Valencia heads it clear. Forward by Schupp. Oh, look at the runner on the far side. That's Ziege. This time it's Eadie who's gone back with him. Well, it is precariously balanced now, this European tie. Norwich knocking nearly everything up to Sutton in this phase of the game. Free kick to Bayern. Fox.
Knocking some good balls into Sutton, and he's holding it up. They're not quite joining as much as you would like from midfield. I still think they're conscious. Look, 1-0, if we don't concede another goal, we're still okay. And it's just holding them back from midfield, going forward as perhaps they would if they needed to score themselves.
Well, that was Steve Coppell's prediction, wasn't it? 1-0 tonight to Bayern, but here they come looking for a second. It's Valencia, and outside him, two players. One of them here is Jorginho, now Schupp. Jorginho! Oh, Gunn saves brilliantly, and the header goes wide.
Well, it was a great strike, wasn't it, by Jorginho? on his less favoured left foot as well. You wouldn't have thought so. Fortunately for Gunn, it was almost at him, and it was self-preservation, wasn't it? Probably more than anything.
Well, it was reactions, wasn't it? But Nerlinger coming in for the header after Jorginho's original effort. Gunn's response was good enough. Wijngaert. Ziege. Look where he... Oh, it's Ziege right through! Great save again by Gunn. That was a better save because they were clean through there. Christian Ziege, the number 3, who gets lots of goals in German league football from that position. Well, Gunn was the hero.
Right, as you say, that was even better. You can see it just goes past the sweeper Culverhouse. Fortunately, he doesn't bring him down, otherwise it would have been a penalty. And Gunn spread himself. Great save, and it's Culverhouse picking up the pieces.
Well, Norwich hearts were definitely in their mouths there. Ziege could have so easily made it 2-0. And that, of course, would put Bayern ahead in the tie on goals. Here's Rob Newman.
Those two chances quieten the crowd, as you can see. A few anxious faces there, and 2 vital saves by Brian Gunn, because the second goal before half-time, and it would have been a fairly quiet dressing room from the playing point of view. Probably a little bit more vocal from Mike Walker.
Yes, I wouldn't think there's any doubt that that's where manager... Oh, look, there's a player doing up his boot, and he's put Edie onside. And a poor clearance to boot. Here's Newman. Again, now it's Bowen. On again to Edie. Sutton taking up his position by the far side. Goss comes in. Valencia with the flick to Schupp. Wijngaert killed that. Oh, look at Valencia on the return. Found by Wijngaert, who's now making strides in the middle. And here is Wijngaert, and his first touch just overran it.
Well, they've had a very impressive few minutes, haven't they? Valencia so quick breaking, picking out Wijngaert. Unfortunately, as you can see, he's squaring it across 3 Norwich defenders. His first touch stretching, just taking it into Gunn's hands.
It's a bit fortunate for Norwich, because the man who'd run back with Wijngaert lost him, didn't he? And the Germans have, in the last 10 minutes or so, displayed the kind of quality football that we were surprised we didn't see more of in the first leg. We gave the credit, I think, rightly that night to Norwich, but Bayern Munich do still have a pedigree, that's quite clear. Not quite the team of Frans Beckenbauer, who's here tonight, by the way, but still a team that are now commanding great respect. A goal up in the second leg, and it could have been more. Edie pestering the life out of Mateus. That's sometimes where your first defending's got to be done. And Gunn's kick has picked out Crook very precisely. And he's found Bowen. And this is Sutton. Bowen gets it across to Crook. And Edie goes in. Nice play by Crook. He changed the direction of that attack. He's very much the man through whom that midfield play flows. And he's got a subtle touch, Ian Crook. 37 minutes gone in the first half. Norwich 0, Bayern Munich 1. Aggregate score 2-2. Kreutzer for Bayern. Wijngaert. Jorginho. Valencia. He looks a much better player tonight than he looked in the first leg, the Colombian. He's giving Norwich cause for concern.
was drifting out wide and getting that bit of space, and his first touch is very good, like all continental players, and that is causing Norwich problems. And at the moment, you have to say Bayern Munich themselves, throughout the team, looking a much better side.
And Nerlinger, Helmer and Kreutzer all on the far side. To be won there. It was John Polston, in fact, who won it. Offside coming back there, Valencia. Fox. Newman. Norwich playing it the Bayern way, in no hurry to play it forward too quickly until they're ready. Now that's a decent piece of play by Sutton. Really held his man off well. Back in by Butterworth to Bowen. Goss trying to find Edie. That was Wouters. And look at this. Norwich having to hurry back because they had a lot of players in the Bayern half there. And that's the danger. This is Wouters. Helmer, Nerlinger. Bayern will feel, I suppose, Trevor, that tactically they played this first half quite well.
Well, they have, and because they got that great cushion or boost to the early goal. And interesting that the player, Munich player, who was the only player in Norwich's half to set up that last attack, was Ziege, the left back. I mean, Ziege and Jorginho are pushing forward at every opportunity. And definitely Bayern Munich are not sort of sitting on that early goal. They're breaking exceptionally well, and possibly they'll feel they're a bit unlucky not to have got a second goal.
Picked up by Newman. Bowen. Sutton again on the far side, coming in. Might drop for Goss to volley. Oh, he checked. Polston. And this is where... Vita check this time. Has to dig it out a bit. But he still managed to see where Ziege was.
Yeah, unfortunate. Goss, Raw Fox was just in the way, wasn't he?
Well, he's not now. He's on the ball, and there's two in the middle. And here comes Edie. And this is Mark Bowen. The whistle's gone. Foul in there. Use of the elbow by Darren Edie. Bowen couldn't quite get in, and the referee makes his point again. We're in the last 4 minutes of the first half at Carrow Road. The score on the night, Norwich 0, Bayern Munich 1, which means it's 2-2 overall. Offside. Well, he was looking nowhere near the ball, Jorginho, then, but here he is now to Valencia. Newman. Shook. And Raymond Alman, the captain and goalkeeper, hasn't really been extended, has he, in the way that Brian Gunn has a couple of times.
No, with the first half coming to a close, I mean, Alman has done very little as such. Probably the best chance Norwich had with Sutton's when he just dragged it past the post. But from Munich's point of view, having got the early goal, Gunn's made 2 or 3 important saves, but they'll still feel 1-0 is probably what they'd at least have been hoping to be at half-time. Whereas Norwich, having conceded that goal, Mike Walker will be quite happy perhaps if it stays like that, and he can sort of sort out 1 or 2 tactical things. But it's going to be very twitchy for the second half if this scoreline stays like this.
Very tense, I would imagine, but then that's sometimes what gives live football its edge. And here's Polston. Fox. Crook. Fox goes again. Number 10. I think that ball was behind the line when he crossed it.
At least Norwich have tried the last 2 or 3 occasions to get Raw Fox in, and I think he is still the best outlet for Norwich. I thought for 15-20 minutes they were getting a bit obsessed with the Chris Sutton route, and although some of the balls into him were quite good, you know, they've got to vary it, and Norwich's game has been built on little triangles, good movement, rather than just knocking into a target man.
Yes, and Edie really playing his first full game at this somewhat elevated level in Europe, and no Okoku or Robbins, so in that respect Sutton was going to have to do overtime tonight. Here's Mateus, Nerlinger, Vitacek, and Mateus makes a foray into the Norwich danger zone. This is Kreutzer. There's going to be too much time. Whoops. Alman suddenly goes into a kind of a Grobbelaar syndrome, and one or two of his colleagues looking a little concerned. This is Newman. We're into the last minute of the half, and there hasn't been much time to pause for breath here. It's been played at quite a pace, this European match. And Edie takes a crack on the side of the face from Helmer. Now, wouldn't it be just perfect from Norwich's point of view if they could score now? Coming up to the half-time whistle. Free kick, Ian Crook. Rob Newman is closing in. Sutton, Wouters. It's a good ball down the line from Jorginho, and the half-time whistle goes at Carrow Road with this European tie thanks to Valencia's early goal. Very, very much on the line. Norwich City 0, Bayern Munich 1 at half-time in the second leg. Aggregate score 2-2. Norwich technically ahead still on the away goals rule if that comes into play, but they found that 45 minutes a whole lot different to the game in Munich. Half-time score then on the night. Norwich City 0, Bayern Munich 1. Side are getting a terrific ovation as they come out again. The official crowd figure has been passed to me. It's in fact 20,829, and I think there may have been a few tickets not taken up by the Germans, which would explain why it's a shade below the absolute limit. But those who are here, and those who've come from Germany for that matter, are at the moment in quite good heart. That goal is something of a rarity by an opposing side at Carrow Road. In fact, I think Norwich had kept 6 clean sheets in their last 7 here. Only Wimbledon had scored, and Bayern, by getting that early boost, really put this match in the this tie in the melting pot. I'll just ask Trevor to keep his eye on the tactics as they kick off to see if anything does change early in the second half. But it's Bayern Munich playing now from right to left, and we don't want to confuse you with too many permutations, but I suppose one contingency we ought to have referred to is that if Bayern were to win 2-1 in 90 minutes, there would be extra time. However, here's Vitacek. They've got to go for the second goal, come what may. That was Shook.
Tactically, neither side have switched. Culverhouse is still playing in the central position as a sweeper, and if they did switch, then Polston would go alongside. I would have thought Ian Butterworth, Rob Newman would be left back, and Ian Culverhouse would go to his old right-back position, but at the moment he's still playing that sweeping role. So let's see if Norwich can somehow or other push up as a team, as a unit, and get a few more, whether it be their full-backs or their midfield players to support those front two.
This is Chris Sutton, and he's got Darren Edie in the middle, and Rule Fox making ground. Shirt pulling Mateus. Well, thought it was. The referee seems to have missed it, and quite where the linesman was, I'm not sure. However,
well, he's definitely shirt pulling. He pulled Chris Sutton as he got up. I thought he was swapping shirts before the end of the game.
yeah, he got away with it, didn't he? Norwich. Matthias knows all the tricks. 103 caps for Germany. Goss, Bowen, Fox. Sutton on the end of this. Neerlinger clears via Polston's head. Comes off Jorginho. This is Bowen. There's Edie. Header on, Vitacek. Oh, this looks dangerous. It's Valencia. And he's away from the first challenge. He's going to play it back inside, but Valencia had a long way to run.
On that occasion, the sweep of Culverhouse was important because Valencia got clear of his man. Looked as if he was going to have one against one, but just hesitated and enabled Norwich to get back. But on the other end, Will Fox was in the attack, and interesting to see him pushed into the 18-yard box, and that did create a cross for Edie, which Sutton nearly got on the end of at the far post.
Sutton's been penalised there for holding his man down. Jorginho. And Neerlinger here, just out of touch with the through pass. Norwich again going for the direct route to Sutton, pulling away from Helmer. That's not bad, but the pass has driven Edie a little bit wide. And Kreutzer concedes the corner. The 6-yard area for Norwich. Ian Cook will go across to take it. Possibly looking for a flick on by Newman. Fox is in there too. There is Newman! And it struck a Bayern foot. And a few hands on heads there. Could have gone anywhere.
Well, it looked dangerous, didn't it? But unluckily for Norwich, it did hit a defender.
They're still packed in there. Bowen. Well, he scored in the first match, Mark Bowen, and that was no mean effort.
Has lifted the crowd at the start of the second half. Important to try and make sure Norwich can regain the initiative. On this occasion, quick corner kick for Norwich. Just caught the outside of his foot, always just missing the target.
This referee is very hot on time wasting. He had a word with Brian Gunn in the first half, and now he's told Raymond Alman to get on with it. Matthias. Shook. Well played, Bowen. Well, Matthias didn't win the header. Helmer with a lunging interception. Now Neerlinger. Ziga. Jorginho. Norwich crowd really doing all they can to lift the side, and I think they won that tackle for Jerry Goss. And here's Darren Edie, just a bit too far ahead of himself. Crook, though, will find Bowen. One over here, Sutton, Goss, yes! You don't need to ask who scored it. Jeremy Goss, once more the hero of Norwich. There was a man over in the box from the moment the cross was struck. And the Germans arguing among themselves frantically back there. Here's the cross from Bowen, and Norwich have got really 3 against 2 in there. Edie he was spared for a minute, but Goss puts it away. What an important goal this could be, Trevor.
Well, Chris Sutton showing his dominance in the air. I think the goalkeeper could have come. It hung in the air a long, long time. He stayed on his line. The defenders, I think, were wondering whether he was going to come. And that man, Jeremy Goss, tucks the ball away. But it's important, Norwich mustn't get carried away because it's 1-1 and Munich still only need the one goal to take it into extra time.
You are absolutely right. That's how we stand now. Norwich restore the aggregate lead to 3-2, but it's far from won. Jeremy Goss, a scorer in Munich, a scorer in the last round here against Vitesse, and now he's there again. Helmer, Wouters. I think Mike Walker felt that Norwich paid Bayern too much respect in the first half, and if that was the message, then it seems to have got home up to now. 7 minutes into the second half, Norwich equalised. This is Helmer. And the crowd, well, they played their part in the goal, there's no question about that. Wouters. Valencia turns away from Butterworth. Vitacek. Fox. Cook. Well, European football takes a lot of beating when it's as exciting as this, and there's a difficult moment for Butterworth, not wanting to pass back to the goalkeeper in that position now. Neerlinger's in there. It's come back to Ziga, and that's going nowhere.
Well, it's important now Norwich doesn't impose themselves, but I think they took the initiative early in the second half and they've got to keep going forward. They mustn't again consciously think, well, 1-1, now let's keep it tight again, because they were pushing Munich back. And Mike Walker must be delighted. They are pushing up that little bit more, getting a few more tackles in, denying them the space they had before. And of course Munich made that mistake defending too deep, getting sucked back well into their penalty area, the goalkeeper not coming, and they should never allow Chris Sutton headers in those situations to near goal.
Well, he did cause them some discomfort in the first half, Sutton, didn't he? That tactic brings its own reward now for Norwich. This is Culverhouse, fouled by Neerlinger. It was said in Munich by one or two observers that Bayern didn't seem to be a team of very high morale when the game went against them. I just wonder what character they'll exhibit here now. Norwich with the free kick. Polston. And that's come off Mateus, who felt he was pushed. The referee has given a corner. Just what Norwich wanted then. Keep the ball in there. Newman marching towards the near post. Polston deeper by the penalty spot. But it's not delivered well this time. Valencia, his goal now wiped out. Wouters. It's a bit long, and Ayman able to come out before Sutton can really threaten him. Still a great buzz going around the ground. Crook. Back to Bowen. Eadie. Bowen again. This is much more compact play by Norwich. I think the point that was made at half-time about them being a little stretched and not pushing in enough in the first half, they seem to be going some way towards solving that in this particular period of play. They've encamped in that Bayern half at the moment. And on the left, Mark Bowen seeing a lot of the ball. Fox. This is Bowen again. This is Sutton. Headed on by Jorginho. Sutton to Cook. Good running by Fox and well found by Cook. He was too. Three players in the middle, hoping for a cross. Fox still. Sutton's up there and some shoving.
Again, using the pace of Will Fox in attacking situations now in the second half. Terrific ball by Ian Cook. He spread the play superbly, one of the better midfield passes, I think, in the Premiership.
Matthias and Wouters combining to get Munich back in the Norwich half, but the ball has gone astray from Ziege. There was an offside flag up, actually.
Munich definitely not enjoying the spell of the game as much as they did in the first half. They're being hurried into mistakes, and they're conceded possession, which they didn't do in the first 45 minutes.
To be some holding the other way there to me, but referees decided that the main offender is Sutton. Interesting, isn't it, for all the talk of sophisticated tactics in European football, the goal comes from a good old-fashioned cross delivered deep towards a tall target man. Here's Wouters. Ziege. 13 minutes gone in the second half. The score on the night: Norwich City 1, Bayern Munich 1. Norwich 3-2 on aggregate in the lead. This is Ziege. Now Nerlinger. They've got 3 or 4 players lined up on the edge of the penalty area here, the Germans. The question is, where's the service coming from? Matthias has played it all the way back to Jorginho. Now it's Kreutzer. Valencia chasing this, and Gunn with his size. Quite composed, having made those 2 important saves, one after the other in the first half, Brian Gunn. In fact, he's made an important save at a key time in all the Norwich European matches that I've seen. This is the 4th. Here's Crook.
Ziege was very dangerous in the first 45 minutes. He was pressurised then just to hook it on, and they pushed John Paulston, the number 5, much closer to him rather than keep pulling back Will Fox, and that's definitely helped Norwich have more of the share of this second half.
As they look a tighter unit altogether, the English team, since the team talk at the interval. Here's Matthias. But you can't underestimate a Bayern team who have continually got players looking for that quick break, particularly Valencia. Pushing up on Matthias. know that the situation remains very much the same from their point of view. They've got to score again to have any chance of staying in the competition. If it was to stay like this at 1-1 on the night, Norwich would be through. 16 minutes gone in the second half. Wijngaert. He really worried the life out of Jorginho there. And again he gets a foot in, Jeremy Goss. Now it's Fox. Sutton goes towards the far post. Edie's there with him. Sutton. Edie. It might come for Goss again. Goal kick.
Gained a couple of important tackles with Goss, and then just the final shot. As you see, Fox knocks it in. There's a collision there. Edie just sets it up then. The Goss just challenged there. Perhaps needed a volley, didn't it, to get it on target. He only scores with volleys, Jeremy Goss, at the moment.
And he's certainly one of the stories of the season, isn't he? A player who asked for a transfer so many times here because he thought he'd had no chance of progressing in his career. But Norwich are buzzing here, and there he is again.
Goss and Crook have hustled the midfield, but they've definitely got instructions to put much closer to sort of the back three central defenders, so as they don't spread around and build up from the back as they did in the first half.
That's the difference. Here's Valencia. That's a foul. Butterworth. And Jorginho brings Kreutzer into it. And Jorginho plays it nicely back to Schupp. Wijngaert in the middle. It's a header by Butterworth. And Schupp's the player who's been bundled over by Bowen. Free kick to the Germans. Jorginho to take it. Ziege is in the thick of the crowd in the penalty area. So is Nerlinger. Oh, it's Kreutzer who gets his head to it, number 4. Brian Gunn comes running out, not to remonstrate with the referee, but with his own players for not picking up the man who had the header, I think.
Well, you can see here that Norwich are caught short, and I mean, Kreutzer got a yard or two ahead of the Norwich back line, and he should have got the ball on target there with his head.
It was a dangerous moment again for Norwich. Sutton, Edie, Bowen joins the attack now. Edie goes again, once more it's Bowen, Goss in the penalty area. Bowen's cross, corner. And altogether more dangerous and determined Norwich City going forward in the second half. Crowd still playing a major part in things, urging them on as Newman takes up that familiar position. All flicked on by a German player. Ziege's header only picks out Edie. And that's deflected as well. We're going to see a substitution by Bayern in just a moment or two, I think. And the man down for Norwich, though, is John Colston. So Bayern just preparing to make the first change of the evening. In fact, Mehmet Scholl, who is the top scorer, is the player preparing to come on. It's Nerlinger who's gone to the line just to check. And in fact, the player coming off is number 9, Wijngaert. It's a striker for a striker, Trevor.
just got to make sure you hold the card up the right way, haven't you? And Nerling and another 6 thought to himself, surely it's not me coming off. But Scholl, we saw him in the first leg. He will play up direct replacement really for Vitacek, and let's see if he can show up better than the number 9, who has been fairly quiet and just had one chance in the first half. Other than that, probably was time for a change.
He's of Turkish descent, Mehmet Scholl, so I hope that isn't a bad omen after what Galatasaray have done to Manchester United. Anyway, the score here remains 1-1 on the night. Norwich City lead 3-2 on aggregate in this UEFA Cup tie. Polston has recovered, and again it's Sutton who's the target. Polston. Again, Coitzer challenging Sutton. It's all a bit untidy. The referee's in the middle of it now. Halfway through the second half. Mateus starting things off from within his own penalty area. He finds Jan Wouters. Scholl. This is Wijngaert. And it was nearly played back to Wijngaert. In fact, Norwich stretching to try and get a touch. Will Fox in the end does so quite superbly, and also gets the free kick. And Jorginho, the man who once won a fair play award by FIFA for his attitude on the pitch, throws the ball away in disgust, and the Brazilian World Cup star being called to the referee for dissent. Well, it's out of keeping, I must say, but the little bow doesn't save him from the yellow card.
I mean, he was unlucky, I think, to have the free kick given, because Roy Fox knocked it too far, and he was always going to be a throw-in, and he just went across him and blocked him off. But you can't show dissent so obviously, and it was always going to be a yellow card once he got called over.
First yellow card of the game. It's Mateus. Doesn't mind just playing around in his own penalty area, the sweeper. Takes a few risks. Newman. Sutton. It just wanted a lighter touch there for Edie. This is Helmer. Wouters. Good play by Nerlinger. Jorginho. Touch back to Mateus. Jorginho again. Scholl. And he's just come on, and there goes Valencia, but it was just too far in front of him.
Mateus, just on a couple of occasions in the last 2 or 3 minutes, has broken in front of the 2 central defenders, and as the minutes tick away, he's got to do that. He's got to push into midfield, and of course Norwich have got to try and hopefully make the most of that and find those gaps and try and get what would be this vital second goal, because of course then Bayern Munich would have to score 2 more.
Yes, as things stand, it's still delicately poised. But there goes Edie for Norwich. Sutton in the middle. Mateus with the challenge, deemed to be fair, but is that? No, from Edie. Polston. Fox.
Polston who knocked the ball along the line there, pushing right in on Ziga, which they didn't do in the first half. Ian Crooker on occasions pushing onto the central defenders, and they're definitely hurrying them into mistakes. And again, because they're hurrying them, they're actually getting called offside and giving the ball away. And at the moment, Norwich have played this second half extremely well, and you have to say they've showed a lot of character, having conceded that early goal, to come back and find themselves at the moment 1-1. And if it can stay like that, of course, they will be in the hat for the next round.
Yes, there's no question mark against Norwich's morale or togetherness. It's a club in which everybody pulls in the same direction. Here's Valencia, and that's a missed kick really by Nellinger. This is Goss, Sutton. Edie deceived by the bounce. Here's Butterworth. Valencia with Scholl now his partner in attack, number 15, Jorginho. Christian Ziege, number 3. Wouters. Wouters and Schupp again. Danger here, real danger. Valencia wanted to take one touch too many, but it's still loose. It's not now, it's a goal kick. That was an anxious moment for Norwich.
Well, that was Munich's best move in the second half, and I must say, when it ended up at Valencia's feet, I did think at this stage at least would get a shot on target. Just needed the second touch before hitting the shot, and just don't get that time at this level.
Disappointed supporters there from the German camp. If it stays like this, if Norwich can keep the score like this for about 18 minutes, they will be through. Fox. But as Trevor said, a goal for Norwich would certainly take the heat out the tie. This is Crook. It's a free kick, isn't it? Hands against Ziege. Boss. This is Crook. Bowen. Helmer. Good play by Norwich again in midfield. This is Goss. Edie makes the break from right to left. Mateus goes across to cover. Edie gets the foot in. Goal kick.
Making some busy runs, Edie. Not found it easy against the quality of Mateus sweeping. But I'm sure Norwich are delighted to see him still making those interceptions. I would have felt at some stage Wouters and Mateus could have swapped round and let Mateus go into that midfield position.
Well, he played it so deep there, Mateus. He played them onside. Fox. That really was poor defending, and it bore out a point Alan Hansen made at the start. Mateus was standing virtually on his own penalty spot, and he gave two Norwich players the freedom of the pitch. Fox gets in here with the final shot. Look where the sweeper was. Two of them were there.
Well, he chested it down, waited for it to drop. I mean, he hit it well enough, but always was just going to clear the crossbar. But I'd say a goal at this stage, and you just feel Bayern wouldn't have come back from that. It was a good opportunity.
Well, the watch says 15 minutes of normal time to go. Bayern have to score to force extra time. Norwich are okay as they are on that 3-2 aggregate lead. Little flick by Fox. Wouters. Butterworth. Forward by Crook, and it's Sutton. Oh, now. What's the referee do about that? That's Mateus taking out Sutton.
Well, taken out being the operative word. I mean, Chris Sutton definitely got the header, and he hit him after that. As you can see, Sutton gets a header, and Mateus with a dreadful challenge. I mean, and I think he probably is staying down just to try and keep out of a yellow card at the minimum.
Well, it should be at least that. Sutton gets the header, and look where the foot is. That's got to, if no more, it's got to be dangerous play. But Sutton has picked himself up, and Matthias, as you say, perhaps diplomatically, has stayed down. The number 16 over there is Adi Akinbai, the 19-year-old who's yet to make his senior debut, and he looks as though he's going to make it in the most frenzied of circumstances, the last 15 minutes possibly of a European tie. Maybe that Darren Eadie has run himself into the ground and needs to be replaced. Matthias back on his feet, no sign of a card from the referee. In fact, he's more concerned about the substitution. Two, in fact, are going to take place here. The two number 7s are going across. Eadie off for Norwich, Akinbai on. And for Bayern, Jan Wouters leaves the pitch. And it looks as though Sternkopf has come on. But Akinbai is an interesting character. 33 goals for Norwich's reserves and juniors last season. Comes from South London, very much Ian Wright country. And actually signed for Norwich in preference to Arsenal, he was telling me today. Michael Sternkopf, number 13, in the action.
Well, Sternkopf came on in the first leg and operated down the left-hand side, which is where he's lining up now, almost as a left winger, left attacking striker. So Munich playing 3 up and taking off Wirtz as more of the defensive midfielder. And definitely, I think, their last throw of the dice.
Well, there is 12 minutes of normal time left on the watch, and they're not finished yet. Here's Jorginho. That scums off Goss, and it's cleared confidently by Butterworth. And it's thumped forward by Crook. Oh, that went over their heads, and Culverhouse is going to have to cover Valencia here, which he has to concede a corner in order to do. This is dangerous.
In trying to stop it going out for a corner, he slid into the advertising board in Culverhouse, but he's quickly jumped up.
Corner to be taken by Jorginho. And Culverhouse again. They need to clear the penalty area a bit here, Norwich, if they can. Because Bayern have left 7 players up. This is Sternkopf. Tackle was by Akinbai. And if Norwich played this right, they've got an extra man up there. Matthias being roundly booed after that incident with Chris Sutton. He escaped unpunished. Sternkopf and John Polston. Akinbai. Fox. Goss makes a forward run. Fox has got 3 players up with him. This is Goss trying to turn it back. It's Fox. Offside on the return.
Akinbai is sort of slightly shorter version of the Cuckoo, isn't he? And Mike Walker said he's lightning quick as well. And first opportunity, he would have liked to have perhaps given him a run out at Highbury, because he was on the bench then. Hasn't done so, and that's why he didn't play him from the start this evening. But a good bit of experience for him in these closing tense minutes.
Yes, he's of Nigerian stock, same as Ikoku. Doesn't look unlike him, in fact, and plays in very much the same position. 10 minutes, as you can see, separating Norwich City from the 3rd round of the UEFA Cup. If it stays like this, they're through. Sternkopf.
Well, he hit it well, Sternkopf. It just clipped Raw Fox, and fortunately for Norwich, it went straight at Brian Gunn. It would have been a nasty one either corner.
an offside decision there. These could be an anxious few minutes for Norwich, because Bayern will know, the bench will tell them that they're in the last 10 and they're going to start taking risks, throwing the extra man up. They've got to, no choice. But one wonders why Mateus has not actually got a bit further forward earlier. That was his long pass, and this is Valencia. Offside, Mehmet Scholl.
They have changed it just for these closing minutes. Jorginho, the Brazilian, actually has gone back as the central defender now. And Kreutz, the number 4, who had been marking Chris Sutton, is playing as a centre forward. Munich even decided to use the target man himself.
Yes, it's amazing what you do when you get desperate, isn't it?
And Mateus has pushed into a central midfield position as well.
Yes, his old spot in the German national team. Foot up, nailing it. Well, Norwich will be pleased just to kill a few seconds here if they can. Ian Crook takes the kick. Chris Sutton unable to get there. Goss, my word, he's had a great match. Never mind the goal. Some of his interceptions in the second half have been so important to Norwich. As you can see from the time, we're into the last 8 minutes. Providing Bayern don't score. Valencia. Sternkopf. Good tackle, Fox. Norwich really digging in here. Akinbai. Just got to keep their shape, Norwich, and try and feed the two front men. That's come back to Fox. Sutton tucking it away to the right. This is Akinbai. Bowen. Oh, Fox in space, and Sutton. And it's going to come out to Crook.
Well, the finish wasn't the greatest by Ian Crook, but it was excellent controlled play by Norwich. They know they've got to get those seconds that you can see ticking away. What, 7 or 8 minutes now? And the important thing is to just play across. Doesn't matter about actually scoring again, Norwich. If they could just waste those minutes, and certainly a minute and a half went with good build-up play from one side of the pitch to the other.
Valencia. Oh, danger, Valencia again. And the Bayern players appealing, but it's gone the other way. They're not very happy with the referee there. Whether they spotted a handball in there or thought they did, but anyway, Kreutz's protest has been waved away. And we approach what could be the last 5 minutes of a memorable day for Mike Walker, manager of the month. And possibly, don't let's speak too soon, leading his team into the 3rd round of the UEFA Cup. That was a bit risky by Almat. Oh, it might still be. Fox didn't go for the right man there. This is Ziga. Kreutzer on the far side. Valencia needs picking up in the centre. Nobody did. Oh, goodness me, there's a chance here. And Norwich are all over the place. It was Scholl, and then Kreutzer, and now Sternkopf. Oh, and Scholl again. They desperately needed somebody to shout there, didn't they? Nobody seemed to know what was going on, and now the Bayern players surround the referee again. Oh, it's Mateus. Oh, look at this, the referee's having to hold him off. Oh, card's coming out now. Yellow card for Lothar Matthäus. And I tell you what, it'll be red if he carries on doing that. Shouldn't really need other players to pull such an experienced man away from that situation. He's not going to get the decision. Now is Brian Gunning? Yes, he's in trouble as well for the pushing and pulling there with Mateus. So a yellow card for the Norwich goalkeeper.
Well, Brian Gunn was trying to tell Mateus to go away, leave the referee alone, put his hand on him, as you can see, look, get out the way. The referee decided that incited Mateus, and he had to come between the two of them, and he felt the best thing was to actually show the yellow card to both.
Fox. Well, the play that preceded that incident, Norwich looked very nervous and rather disorganised, and here's Mateus again. Valencia runs on, it comes off Goss, and again Mateus, and Goss wants more in the way. Schupp. Scholl. Jorginho. They need an outlet ball here, Norwich, desperately, and Fox brings it down and may provide it. Oh, just offside. Akinbai.
It was very close, wasn't it, when the ball was played? It was nearly the perfect ball because they just pushed up as Fox played it. I wasn't sure whether Akinbai had drifted offside or was just level.
Sternkopf. The Germans throwing everything in now. 2 minutes to go. Foul by Sutton. Jorginho takes it. They know. Oh, ball is still moving. They know how near it is on the bench now to the end, or what could be the end. Mike Walker thinking about making another substitution. That always kills a few seconds late in a European game. Looks as though Rule Fox may be asked to leave. And replaced in a moment by Darryl Such. Number 15 coming on. Now this could be an important moment. Lothar Matthäus places the ball 30 yards out and more. It cannons back into the Bayern half. Sternkopf. Was onside this time, but he had a lot of ground to make up there. Alman comes right out. Just over a minute of the 90 left. Culverhouse, the sweeper, gets his head to this. Crook. Sutton. Akinbai turns them. But he can't get past Helmer. We are in the 90th minute. Norwich City still ahead. You can tell from the whistles how anxious their supporters are here. And here's Valencia. And it's hooked away by Such as far as Sutton, but they can't get the ball out of their own half, Norwich. It's Schupp with the cross. Comes off Butterworth, needs to be cleared, and is. And look here, the teenager has got a bit of room, and Darryl Such a great run with him. Number 15 going through now. Could he square it to Chris Sutton on the far post? Well, he's probably done better than that, because a corner will waste some time. It's 90 minutes up. Norwich so close to the next round. It's a question of what the Belgian referee sees as stoppage time now. Fantastic atmosphere inside the ground. Well, Such wants to keep it somewhere there. The throw has gone to Bayern. And there it is! Norwich City's UEFA Cup journey continues. Mike Walker, another tactical victory. Jeremy Goss got the goal that meant the second leg was drawn, but tactically Norwich won the tie. 3 goals to 2 on aggregate. They did enough here, especially after going behind so early. Well, what a memorable night here in Norfolk. Trevor Brooking, Norwich City putting out one of the great names of European football.
Well, a marvellous night. The grounds erupted, and deservedly so. They came back superbly after conceding the early goal. Got in the second half much tighter, and it was really a superb second half performance. Couple of vital saves by Wijngaert in the first.